Nobody's here yet, so I'm going to save the story until we get somebody in here. But if you look off in the distance, way out in front, you'll see water from the Puget Sound, which is our inland body of water that comes in off the Pacific Ocean, way up north, about 75 miles. Um, yeah, I got shafted by the prosthetics people. Well, not really by them, but by some idiot. Uh, but we'll see. We'll see if anybody shows up. I popped into it. I know I'm later than normal, but not as late as I thought I was going to be. Uh, Work kind of got in the way. Anyway, yeah, like I said, way out in front of me, you can kind of see the water from the Puget Sound, uh, which is our inland body of water that comes off the Pacific Ocean. So we'll bump around on these great Seattle roads and get back on the freeway and head south and see if anybody joins us. We should have some good pictures of Mount Rainier going south. But we'll see. First things first, we got to deal with the idiots in town before we get on the freeway and deal with the freeway idiots. Well, now we got somebody in here. That's exciting. Um, Welcome to my world. We're on. We're on kind of on the edges of Capitol Hill, coming down off of it. I'm going to run around here and get in the way of this guy on the rental scooter. See if I manage not to run him over. But we'll get back on the freeway and head south. We got about an hour drive home, but we're not going to run through all of it. But we'll see. Plus, I got an apprentice working on a unit that's having trouble. He's having some trouble, so I've been on the phone a lot with him this morning. And I don't think they'll call me, but he's going to text me, I'm sure. And I think I can work around that and stay on the live. So that'll be fun. Again, up here, if you can see ahead a little bit, you can see the water from the Puget Sound. One of these days, I'll take you all the way down to the waterfront. This day is just isn't one of them. I'm already late getting out of here. Yeah, crap. No right turn on red. Get two idiots that have to wait on the green and screw everybody behind them. Isn't that special? No turn on red. City of Seattle needed to. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to turn on red here. It's not a blocked corner, so you can't see what's coming. There we go. Now we got a green. And around we go. All right. We made it to the freeway on ramp. Now we need one more green light, and then we can hit the freeway. There we go. Off we go into the trees over yonder. And away we go. We are coming on to southbound I-5 in Seattle, Washington, United States. And it's a beautiful day here. It's going to be too damn warm as far as I'm concerned. And we're supposed to hit hitting. Hi, welcome in. Is it Todd? Well, I apologize. That's what it looks like. But hi, and welcome in. We're in Seattle, Washington, I'm heading back home from a doctor's appointment. Um, it's about 2.5 hours up here in the morning. Going back south, it's about an hour. A lot of people are on vacation this week because it's a holiday on Friday. Right. I don't know if I'm still here or not. Maybe I am. Hi, Des. No, I had to take a phone call. Hey, Des, let me know if you can hear me right now. Okay. Sorry, I've been dealing with an apprentice all morning on a problem we had, and he just called, and apparently his dad's been pretty sick, and apparently his dad just tried to take his life, and so needless to say, he's pretty upset, and he was just calling you. He said he didn't know what to do. I said, well, first of all, stop what you're doing. Work isn't that important. So take some time, settle down, and regain composure, and then go. So he's yeah, and I guess the last time his dad was in the hospital, he walked out at AMA, and so the hospital said they wouldn't let him come back, but of course that's illegal as hell. They can't tell him no. So he was all worried about that too. In Washington, I don't know about everywhere, but in Washington State, a hospital can't turn you away. Uh, so he knew I was going live, so I was kind of surprised when he called. So I feel bad for him, and I'm worried about him. He's a good kid. So, and he's up here in Seattle too, and he lives further south than I do. Um, yeah, I mean that's like the first or second line of the Hippocratic Oath is do no harm. So they can bitch and scream at him all they want, but they can't turn him away. There's Mount Rainier. Still a little hazy from up here, but there it is. Um, anyway, these process companies screwed me over. Well, they didn't really. Somebody did. They've got a parking garage with a gate that locks you in and out, and apparently somebody hit the gate. And the next closest parking lot is 3 blocks away and down a big hill. So there was no way I could keep my appointment with them. So I got to wait until next week to get my food, and that sucks. But it is what it is. I hate that phrase, but it is. So we'll take our leave we drive back south. Wow, yeah, there's lots of people in here. I'm seeing it through a bit of glare, and so I can't see as well as I can on the way up. Hey, Demuth, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, cool. Anyway, so we'll do this drive back south and do it a little bit quicker than we did the one going north. And we're going to take a different path going home. Coming up, we cut across to Kent. Going back, we cut across to Tukwila, and we stay on freeways the whole way. So we got about another mile and a half or two, and then we'll cut across Highway 405, and then get onto 167 going south. And that says it's 19 minutes either way. Cool. We'll go by one of the shopping malls. I think they spell that wrong. It should be M-A-U-L, not M-A-L-L. Come on, dude, get over or go faster. I don't know. Got me jacked in here, dude. Step on the gas pedal. Yeah, you have the front seat. Yes, perfect. Now get over so I can go by you too. Jack up. See if we can get ahead of this garbage truck too. Yep, we got it. Alright, over we go. Oh, the freeways are so great. Yeah. Whereas high as the tax dollars are here, you'd think that they would, freeways would be paved in gold. Hi, Arlene. Welcome back. Alright, around the corner and off to our right is South Center Mall. Not that that matters, but it's one of the older malls here. And that big red building to the right, big square building, they indoor skydive there. They have a huge fan on the floor, and it blows upward, and they put people in flight suits and let them float in there. All right, you got your blinker on. Get over, dude. Cool. All right, now we can hurry up, get ahead of these guys. Yeah. Well, now I'm going a little over the speed limit. That motorcycle had to be going twice the speed limit because he's already gone. Okay, start moving over here. And get in our exit lane. And we'll sit in the conga line, at least for a couple of minutes. One of the cooler parts about Washington is that a lot of these trees are evergreens, so most of it stays green all winter long too. Although in the winter it's gray and green. Summertime it's kind of blue and green, but wow, that's more people than I've ever had before. That's kind of cool. All right, now we get set up. And we're ready to go, heading south. Once we get around the corner here. Yeah, 40 in chat and only 5 likes. Come on, folks. At least you can give me a like. I'm not real entertaining right now, but it could happen. It could happen. Happy Canada Day for all of my Canadian friends. Um, how nice. They're closing around 10 p.m. 5 a.m. I'm not on here that time of day, so it does not matter. All right, over we go. Set the cruise. And run the carpool away. It's $1.25. Just on the offbeat chance there's traffic. Periodically, we may get a glance of Mount Rainier on the way south. The best view comes in when we come up into Bonny Lake. And it will be spectacular today. Lots of the clouds are gone, so the sky is turning dark blue, and it's really nice. By the way, for those that were here this morning, the doctor's appointment went well. He was really happy with the progress, so that's good news. We came back from all of um, the BS that the insurance company caused by changing my medication a couple of weeks back. Uh, I got to stop at the grocery store and pick up a couple of things on the way home. Go race around the store in the park. That's always fun. Yeah, we might actually have everything laid out now for the big deal. I figured the boot was going to be a big help towards that, but I got to put that off for another week. I could have come back up tomorrow and done it, but I'm not making the drive 2 days in a row. Which is kind of silly because when I'm working, I spend my whole day driving. It's really not a big deal. I got to put that back. That's too loud. Hi, G-May. Welcome back. We're just puttering along, heading down the freeway, going back southbound. They actually have new signs lit up today. SNCHH. I don't know what that means, but apparently those letters work. Yeah, it's a nice day. It's going to be too damn warm for me, but anything over about 70 is too warm, in my opinion. But once you get naked, that's as good as it gets. So wintertime, you can always put more clothes on. But we live right on Gale Creek, so sign testing. That's there. They're putting up a lot of facilities. See if they're the same letters here. No, SMCDT. Apparently, we're testing all the letters today. It is. It's very pretty here, and everything is so green. I can't. That's a movie line, but I can't remember what movie. They're smoking dope, and he takes a big draw of the joint. Wow, everything is so green, man. At this point, everybody can wave to the left and say hi to Sydney. The jail that she works at is about 4 miles as the crow flies out to the left. Oh boy, let's see what letters they're testing on this time. Oh, it's the same ones. SNCDT. Carpool jumper. Oh, he had every right to be here. He just didn't. You got an A plus? There you go. I don't know, about that fifth or sixth grade, I had to write a report. I wrote it on Southern California. I'd never been there. And I wrote a bunch of crap. I had no idea if it was true, and the teacher bought it all, and I got a high grade on that one. The Northwest is beautiful. I mean, when the weather's nice, nothing beats it. I mean, it doesn't rain the buckets and buckets and buckets that you guys are getting back east, but it rains every day, and it rains pretty well, pretty much every day. But I've done what I do for a living 50 years, so I'm used to being out in it and working in it, and it doesn't bother me. You got Rainier, and you throw that on when it starts raining hard. Sign testing in progress ahead. Yeah, that's another old joke. What's that in the road ahead? My mom used to pull that one all the time. Or my three favorite parts of a wood-burning stove: the lifter's leg and poker. I know, that's a dumb joke. See, I told you I'd be amusing. I've done HVAC and refrigeration, heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration for 50 years. Prior to that, I was on the radio as a disc jockey or announcer. I read news, did all that crap, which was fun, but until you get really, really, really big, it doesn't pay crap. I mean, we're talking in the 80s and 80s, they didn't pay a lot in the 80s. I mean, when I started working at 14 and a half, minimum wage was $1.75 an hour. But I was doing six-hour board shifts a week to get $600 a month for it. So I gave that up, and actually my sister was a dispatcher for a refrigeration company, and they needed somebody to drive their flatbed truck. So I came in and interviewed for it, got hired, and I did such a good job. 6 months later, my boss said, "I'm going to promote you. Where you want to go? What do you want to do?" And I said, "Which one makes the most money?" You know, he said, "You want to go into sales? You want to go into service? You want to go into install? What do you want to do?" And he said, "Install and service guys make the most money." So I started out installing big grocery stores and stuff. And and over the years, I've done everything from I built a huge walk-in box for testing landing gear on Boeing airplanes. Was 90 feet tall, 60 feet wide, and 82 deep, and it all snapped together so that they could take it apart, load a landing gear in it, and then snap it all back together, and then take it down to minus 60 degrees. Hey, Eddie, thanks for coming in, buddy. So I've done that for a little over 50 years. And now, about 3 years ago, my son and I finally opened a company together, and it's going very well. Um, my son being in it is kind of funny. He just out of high school, he graduated high school and got a job, and I thought it was a summer job, but he got a job, and he was excited. His mom and I had split up at that point, and he got a job, and he was doing really well, and nobody tell me what he was doing. And by the end of the summer, I finally found out, and he'd been out with me on jobs growing up his whole life. If I was on call and a service call came up on the weekend, I had to go do it. And if my wife at the time, she was a severe workaholic, and if she was at work, I was at home with the kids. They went with me on service calls. Anyway, I kept telling him he didn't want to get into this because it's hard on you. And about the end of the summertime, I found out that's what he was doing. He was doing install. So he spent nearly 20 years in it now, and I've been in it for 50. And after he left that company, he started doing sales and estimating for a big commercial contractor, doing the same thing. And he got very good at it. And it was so 3 years ago we decided to go for it and open a company. And when he left the other company, he was doing literally 70% of their sales. And a lot of the clients he was dealing with basically complained at him that he should go out on his own. And since I've got the service background, he didn't have to worry about finding somebody that could work on the stuff. He just had to worry about finding installers, and he had a few installers at the company he was at that wanted to jump ship with him. So we did it, and they jumped ship, and it has exploded. So I don't have that problem anymore, for the most part. I only have 4 toes left, which all started from an on-the-job injury. I'm trying to catch up with chat. That's why I got quiet. um, anyway, so yeah, that's going very well. And luckily, I know enough that I can walk the guys through stuff on the phone and do. Uh, I can run the service department from home, so at least I'm not out of work. Hi, Tom. Anyway, we are in Sumner. This is kind of where we started this morning. Not quite, but kind of. And we're about to get off of Highway 167, get onto Highway 410, and then we'll go up Eli Hill. And at the top of Eli Hill, you'll get about the best view you can of Mount Rainier from down here. And then we're going to end it shortly thereafter because I got to stop at the grocery store and pick up some stuff that he told me to pick up. So just follow directions, ma'am. Ouch. This freeway doesn't go much further anyway. It goes about another 2 miles and then ends. That's the funny part. We got so many freeways around here that come to an end. All right, around the corner. Oh, are the numbers showing up? I'm not seeing them. Whoops. This guy's going to change lanes right over the top because he has no room to get over because I don't let him over. Take the exit. That's what I was told too, Tom, is that it keeps track of who's interacting with the channel most, but I find out more than not. Um, like the last person that came in grabs the number 1 and then they go down from there until somebody else comes in. And then if you get a gap, then it goes from person to person. But Hey, Peter Pan. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, this is a lot harder to do going this direction because of the sun. Going northbound, maybe the sun is just in the right position that I can see the cab better. Uh, I don't know if any points, if liking gets you any points or not. And I'm so far from being monetized, I don't know if that'll ever happen. So, okay, go by all the car dealerships. Wow, they're building something there. Although it kind of looks like a parking lot. Did Katie come in? Hi, Katie. I didn't see you come in, honey. The, the glare through the windshield is kind of killing me on watching the chat. All right, now everybody's slowing down, going up the hill. Hey, Larry, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Oh, you got your new tablet? That's awesome, bud. That's really cool. Have fun with that. Oh, that's why it was slowed down because we got a truck going up here at 5 miles an hour. All right. Okay, we're coming up to the top of Eli Hill. We got two stoplights, and then you'll get a spectacular view of Mount Rainier. And I know I talk about it a lot, but it's it's really beautiful. And when I was a kid, my dad worked for Boeing, and he got 8 weeks of vacation every year. And so as soon as school got out, we would head up to Mount Rainier to the Cougar Rock campground and set up camp. And we'd spend the whole summer up there. My mom worked also. She was a dental assistant. And she would work Monday through Friday and then come up on the weekend. All right, here it comes. Now there's a view of Mount Rainier. 14,412 feet, and it is beautiful. Welcome to downtown Bonny Lake. As we pull forward, on the left is your Target, on the right is your Walmart. Everybody has to have a resident Walmart. I assume it's a Target. That's what it says. I've only been in there once. That was because Sibby wanted a particular coffee pod, and that was I couldn't even find it on Amazon. That was the only place that had it. So I went in there and bought it, and that was the one and only time I've ever been in that Target. I'm not a Target fan. All right, guys. I hate to break up the party, but I am going to. I'll leave it going until I pull in the Safeway parking lot. Normally I'd shut it off about here, but we got about a mile or so to get into Safeway, and I'll leave it going until we get there. You guys all have a good day too. I'm going to do my grocery shopping, and then I'm going to go home and put some shorts and a tank top on and bring the puppies outside and let them play in the sun and have a good afternoon. Thank you all for coming in. I used to do this drive just bored as hell, but you guys will always make it fun. Go in both directions. So one of these days I'll have to do a pharmacy run because then you'll really get a view of the kind of the back roads around here and be able to see some of the pretty areas. Although the dogs will be with me, so they're kind of a pain in the butt, but they like to go. We got about another 75 feet beyond the stoplight, and then I will whip in. Sorry, I just saw a sign I've never seen before. Something called Tools Forever. I'll have to look that up and see what it is. That's unusual. Kind of looks like a retail place, but kind of doesn't. All right, into the Safeway parking lot. Little Audrey just laughed and laughed. She knew there was no Safeway. See if I can get a handicap spot here, because I are a handicap person. If I can get one close enough, I don't even have to get out the knee scooter or call and ask for somebody to bring a cart out. Yeah, it is. My spot is open. Yeah, I do have a baseball card in my spokes. No, I have an exhaust leak, Bubba. I have a exhaust manifold gasket with a problem. However, I've got half a cigarette left, so I'm going to sit here and finish my cigarette. And you guys can and we can all chat for a minute now that I can actually see the chat. Would actually be cool if they figured out a way so that I could type in the chat while I'm doing this on the phone. That'd be kind of fun. except it works better this way since I'm driving. I shouldn't be typing. And it's set up kind of nice. Yeah, it sounded like spokes or an exhaust leak. No, I blew out a exhaust manifold gasket a while ago, and I've got an awesome. There's no way I could stand long enough to do it, and and to be honest, my mechanic is amazing, and he's got really good prices. And because of that, it takes a long time to get in to see him. And I don't really push. It's not really hurting anything. It's a 2000 Dodge pickup, and it's bulletproof. So if it was a more fragile engine, I'd worry about burning valves, but it's not. And I love my old truck. I wouldn't trade it in. It's actually totaled. Uh, little over 2 years ago, I got rear-ended by a semi in it, and it just tweaked the bed ever so slightly. First place I got an estimate, they said it was going to be like 8 grand. And I took it to another place to get a second estimate, and he took two measurements and said the bed's out of square. Um, I'm as far as I'm concerned, it's totaled. So they totaled it, but I had put a new engine in it a while back, uh, and there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, it drives fine, runs okay, not a problem. So I said BS. So I got like $9,000 and got to keep the truck, and it's 4-wheel drive, so it works for me. Sibby's got her nice car. She drives a 2018 RAV4 or 2019, something like that. But nowadays, I don't think I want a new rig anyway because they're all, everything they build now falls apart. Um, uh, and I've also got an '87 Pontiac Fiero, which is a fun little car to drive. Uh, but I've got to find a new pair of they're technically they're radiator pipes, but they run underneath the car and go front to back. Uh, and I've got one that's rusted through in a spot, and they're not easy to find. I've debated just making them out of some refrigeration copper, Type L copper, but it would probably be fine unless I actually hit something, and then I'd be in trouble. But it would actually be thicker than the original pipes because the original pipes are steel, but they're technically thinner than that copper. But I haven't done that yet. All right, Eddie. Hey, you have a good afternoon, dude, and have a good rest of your night. And I'll yak at you later somewhere. Um, yeah, I got my smoke's done, so I got to head into the store and get this stuff done. So I will let you all go, and you all have a wonderful afternoon or evening. I love y'all, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, kids.